Hello, my name is Saikal Afkar, and today I'm going to do a motivation movie analysis of the movie Gintama Be Forever Yorozuya. Now, before I start doing this movie analysis, I want to give you a little synopsis of what the movie is all about. So, in this movie, we start off with the main character Kintoki and his crew Kagura and Shinpachi, and where they work in a theater and monitor the audiences, and eventually he found a movie pirate. And this movie pirate, while he was confronting him, somehow managed to send him into the future, 5 years in the future, and where in there he found out that 5 years in the future he died and his planet is also dying, which is like crazy. And he found out that the cause of this, the cause of the planet dying, Earth dying, was because of a certain disease called the White Plague. And this White Plague actually started spreading 5 years ago, just as soon as he was starting to get teleported. And he also found out that his future self, in that time, knew about the White Plague, but disappeared for somehow and for some reason. And thus he began his journey trying to know more about the White Plague and hopefully save the future. Now, in this movie, there are actually many characters that makes an appearance, but I'm only gonna do three, and that's the main three characters, starting with Kintoki. Now, Kintoki's motivation to do something in the movie was to save the world, right? He found out that 5 years later the world is dying, so his motivation is to save the world. Now, this motivation fits a certain theory, and that is the instinct theory. This theory basically says that motivation comes from biological sources, right? And it's shared across organisms. So it's not only humans that have this motivation to do something, but other organisms can have this kind of motivation. And in this case, right, Kintoki, knowing that the plague is gonna run amok, and realizing that he's gonna die and his loved one's gonna die, wants to stop this White Plague from happening. And that basically, you can simple it down to the fact that Kintoki doesn't want to die and doesn't want to let his loved ones die. And that kind of motivation doesn't only come from humans. Other animals have that kind of motivation too, where they want to save themselves but also their loved ones, especially towards mothers, where they want to protect and save their babies. The second character I want to talk about is Shinpachi. Now, Shinpachi's motivation to save the world is actually different compared to Kintoki, and that is to save his sick sister. So his elder sister, Otae, apparently caught the disease and is now almost close to basically dying, right? And this gave Shinpachi the drive and motivation to save his sister. And well, this motivation actually fits one certain theory, and that is the drive reduction theory, where someone is motivated to do something because they want to reduce the drive that basically makes them do it. And in Shinpachi's case, right, knowing that his sister is gonna die sooner or later, well, maybe not sooner or later, but eventually gonna die from the disease, he is pained and stressed with knowing that one day he will have to see his sister die unless he does something. And because he wants to reduce that stress, he eventually starts to become motivated to try and save the world. And thus the drive reduction theory works well with Shinpachi. And now the last character that I want to talk about is Kagura. Now, Kagura's motivation is a little bit vague, but we can pretty much say that Kagura's motivation to save the world is to find and return Kintoki back to her life. And this motivation somewhat fits with the theory of expectancy, or the expectancy theory, where there's just a theory where one is motivated to do something because they expect something back from it. In this case, Kagura wants to save the world because she's expecting that by saving the world, she will meet Gintoki again and her normal life will be back. And that's why this theory kind of works with Kagura. Now, obviously, those aren't the only motivation theories out there, but it's just that none of the other motivation theories kind of work to explain the motivations behind why these three characters do what they do. And also, you can also argue that almost Shinpachi and Kagura almost has the same motivation. Shinpachi also wants to see Gintoki back, and Kagura actually also knows and very strongly knows Shinpachi's sister, and can also be the reason why she wants to save the world. But for the sake of simplicity, I decide to give them both different kind of motivation. And that is from me today. Thank you for listening.